everybody, it's walkthrough time. Rockstar 4.0. I want you to stay with me to the end because you're going to learn a lot about the newest, latest, greatest freestyle kayak by Jackson Kayak. And this boat is not like the others. I don't know if you've been paying attention, but we created a boat called a Mixmaster. What does that have to do with the Rockstar? Well, the Mixmaster is a super low volume, slicey boat. Now that we have that boat in the bank and that's a boat you can play with, we no longer have to make a really low volume freestyle kayak that you can learn to flatwater cartwheel in. We can now make an amazing freestyle kayak that's designed for big air, super retentive, has more leg and foot room for you to be comfortable all day, and is a freestyle winning machine. This boat right here is going to win the next World Championships in Sort Spain 2019. 18 years after the last time I was in Sort Spain in 2011 or 2001. And why did we design a boat like that? Real simple. We wanted a boat that would go bigger than anything else out there, a boat that would be more retentive, a boat that would surf waves and holes equally well, and a boat that would have a wider range of body sizes that would fit in. So a taller person with bigger feet and a lighter person can handle this boat better. Alright, here's some of the specifics on it. This boat, compared to our last generation Rockstar 3.0, the 2016 Rockstar, it's an inch longer. Some of that is just right on the very bow. We wanted to make sure we give you a little bit more foot room, but the knees are quite a bit higher on this boat. This is the highest knees that we've ever put on a freestyle kayak. These high knees, by lifting your knees up, it pulls your feet back, and with more foot room, with your feet back and more foot room, a much larger person can fit in this boat. So if you paddled a Monstar, for example, back in the past, and you just want a new freestyle kayak, you might want to try the large Rockstar 4.0. You just might find that you fit and it has enough volume for you. For example, large Rockstar 4.0, 69 gallons. Monstar, 73 gallons. That's not much difference. So definitely worth checking out. The bow, not only is it high volume, but look at the wedge shape, a perfect pumpkin seat effect. This thing loops like unbelievable. And the reason is because of the volume and the shape of the bow. Right now, Rock Island, Tennessee, for example, not a great looping hole. Rockstar 4.0, some of the biggest loops you've ever seen. Now what about the stern? The stern, if you look also, the stern has plenty of volume and the cockpit rim is a little bit higher than we've had in the past. Now what does this mean to you? It means you need to sit a little bit higher. I personally am sitting on Sweet Cheeks 300. Now we don't make a Sweet Cheeks 300, so what we've got is a Sweet Cheeks 200 and a 100. And that lifts me up, and that makes it so the cockpit doesn't feel high. The best way to think about it, if you sit at a bar, you need to sit on a bar stool. You sit at a kitchen table, you sit on a kitchen chair. If you sit on a kitchen chair at a bar, it's going to feel like the bar is too high. It's the same thing with sitting in a Rockstar. Rockstar is like sitting at a bar. Basically, you need to sit on a higher stool or a higher seat in order for the deck not to feel too high. So for me, it's a Sweet Cheeks 300 sitting in the medium Rockstar, where before I'd sit in a Sweet Cheeks 100. So that's quite a bit higher. Check out the hull. You want to see the hull? Tip it up like this. Whoa. Alright, we've done a couple things with the hull here. First thing we've done is the width from chine to chine is quite a bit narrower. And the reason for that is because we wanted a boat that would go edge to edge easier on the waves. But what we also wanted is if you're a lighter, smaller person, we want you to have control and have the boat not feel very wide for you. We want it to feel like a boat that you've got full control over. You've got more control over the edges at a lighter weight than you ever have before, because this is a super narrow hull. The other advantage of the narrow hull, besides just being able to go edge to edge, is you'll be able to take this boat off, whether forwards or backwards. You want to get big air on a wave, super easy. You also have a lot of flare on the sidewall with that. It makes it very user-friendly and creates a slicey shape. Because of the high volume, the slicey shape really comes in handy. Rocker profile for waves, very similar to what we've done in the past. Basically, we've got a really fast boat with a narrow hull, makes it even faster. A really fast boat that takes off real smooth and a very predictable, very easy boat for wave tricks. Alright, retentiveness. One of the things that's really exciting about this boat is the fact that you get to spend more time on a wave or in a hole. And let's start with a wave. Because of the high volume and the big sidewalls, and even just a little bit of foam is going to catch you at the top of the waves. And even better yet, when you're forward, that extra volume in the stern is going to lift the stern up and point your bow down the wave and help you accelerate on for wave moves. Same thing for backwards. You get backwards, that high volume bow is going to lift up and it's going to tip you down the wave. You're going to be able to get acceleration. You're also going to be able to do the yo-yo trick, where you do a trick, you bounce off the foam and keep going. That high volume really helps send you back down the wave quick. In a hole, instead of landing and going deep, getting green water and flushing out, you land, you stay on top, you basically land in the foam, you don't go as deep. But when you're cartwheel, for example, when you're vertical cartwheeling, you don't go as deep in the water. You have more boat in the foam, less boat in the green, more retentive. So cartwheels are more retentive, spins are more retentive, every wave trick is more retentive, every hole trick is more retentive. Now, because the high volume and the big air, the tricks not only look better, but they're easier to do. Are you a beginner freestyle kayaker and you've never done a loop in your life? Well, the first time you try this boat, you're going to find that the looping all of a sudden is a lot easier. I've got good examples of this. Simon Fisher from England came and did my class on the Ottawa. Couldn't ever do a pogo flip loop. Tried it for 3 years. First try in a new Rockstar 4.0. First try. A couple other waves that he tried to loop on and wasn't able to do it. First try. And the reason is because the extra volume gives you a lot of lift. And even if you don't do the technique perfect, you've got a lot more margin for error on the moves. Purely from a freestyle perspective and from a winning competition perspective, huge air bonuses, staying in the hole longer, the tricks are easier to do. You combine all those three things together and you've got an amazing freestyle winning machine. Another real nice thing about the extra volume is just pure downriver paddling is easier. The extra volume keeps you on the surface and keeps you from getting back-endered or front-endered. So running hard rapids, like when you want to go to the Gully and run the Gully at 3,000 CFS. If that's a challenging river, this boat and the higher volume is going to make it easier. Outfitting, you've got the Jackson Kayak standard outfitting, comes with happy feet, sweet cheeks, adjustable hip pads, Sherlock back band. Now, one key component, happy seat, happy thruster combo. You're going to want this thing. Now, with the happy seat, you're going to need about 1.5 inches of foam under the happy seat to make sure that you get enough pressure for your legs underneath. And the reason is because the cockpit is quite a bit higher, and the happy seat won't press your legs super strong up into the cockpit rim unless you put about 1.5 inches of foam under your legs. Pretty sweet. What about the trim? Where do you trim the boat out? Pretty simple. If you really want to focus on flat water stuff, you want the bow to be as easy to get under, go as far forward as you can. Otherwise, if you want wave tricks to be easy, like clean blunts and blunts, stuff like that, takeoffs in a forward, down, or going forward, make sure your seat is in the neutral or even back position. One of the things we did with this boat is we actually adjusted the cockpit height and position, or the cockpit and seat position, to allow a taller person to get in there. So you're going to want to paddle, if you normally paddle in the middle position, you're actually going to want to paddle 1 notch back. If you paddle all the way forward in previous boats, you're going to paddle 1 notch back. But another trick that most people aren't aware of, if you want to get huge loops, move your seat back a little bit. That makes the volume of the bow even bigger. If you want it to be balanced out, go ahead and start off in the middle position. I can tell you a lot more about it, but what I really want you to do is to check out the promo video that goes along with the walkthrough video, and then take out a demo boat, get out there in your favorite spot, and have a good time. You're going to see a lot of video coming out with the Rockstar 4.0 this winter. Unbelievable. You see the first ever huge loop videos from Rock Island as well.